Welcome back to another episode of the Transaction Care Podcast. My name is Lillian Hernandez, aka Lilly like the flower, because we are learning and growing together. And this is the number one real estate show on the market. Yeah, I'm bringing that saying back. We're here. So, this is a solo episode, and for those just joining, welcome. For those that have continued to listen and support, I thank you. I see you. I see the comments. I've talked to some of you personally one-on-one, and you guys are all on amazing journeys, and I respect it. And I'm glad I could have a tiny part in that movement. So with all of that said, in today's episode, like I said, it's just me and you, this mic, and what's on my mind. A few things I want to bring up is that we are on episode number 27. That is a big deal. When I first started this podcast, I had the idea a long time ago. I've been listening to podcasts for a little over a decade now, and it's something that's always struck me as fascinating, as interesting, and I was just always curious about having my own show. But I was so against it being about real estate that I could never land on a topic. And even though this podcast is honestly more than just real estate is kind of what sparked this whole movement for me. And with that said, a lot of my point of views have been challenged, shifted, piqued in curiosity, and one of those topics is real estate investing. Honestly, I'm aware of it. I know what it's about. I know people that do it, but I never quite saw people that look like me, talk like me, live similarly to me, that were actually doing it. And when I first embarked on launching this show, it was all about just starting with my community, who I know, and taking it from there. Now that we're at episode 27, I've already interviewed so many people that I never even knew existed just 6 months ago. The power of social media, the power of conversation, the power of prayer, faith, organization, all of that has put together this show that I'm running here. And investing is one of those topics that I really didn't think I'd have any more or new interest in, but it was through having conversations with people like Grace Wilson, who made a $30,000 personal development investment that led to her passion in multifamily real estate. And then I have Violeta Sandoval of the MoneyChisme movement podcast courses. She's dropping courses on how to teach you how to invest. And I'm just so grateful to have a platform to not only share their stories, but to help me through my journey. To me, over the years, my definition of real estate was very black and white. It was buy a home, live in the home, pass down the home, sell the home, one or the other. And over the years, even though I've worked in real estate and I've seen many different types of transactions, it wasn't enough to really spark my interest. And this show has really opened up, like I said, my point of view of such topics. And I'm just so grateful to be able to connect with other women doing this, and women of color that are taking the leaps, saving, taking action, healing old wounds, and doing it in a way that aligns with their values, their morals, their goals. And I am just so pumped to just keep continue to have these types of conversations with people in these positions that are doing it currently. They're not waiting for anyone. They're not in this state of wonder. And I know I can get into that analysis paralysis state and hesitate, self-doubt, all the self-sabotage just comes in and stops me from doing things that I actually want to do. And these ladies are taking full-blown action. So respect to them. So go check out episode 20, and then episode 20, probably 30 coming up will be Violeta. And the only reason I say that is because this is a holiday week, and then we have another holiday coming up. So I want to make sure that all of my guests get the proper promotion and advertisement and exposure during the week of their episode. I don't want them to miss out on a day, which is why I do these solo episodes. And it's a good practice for me as well, to come in here and talk to you all and see what's going on and give you guys life updates. Speaking of which, I'm officially launching my TC community membership platform. When? Stay tuned. If you go to mytccommunity.com, yep, I bought the URL like 10 minutes ago. This is one of those moments where I'm just not going to hesitate anymore. I'm not going to let self-doubt or insecurity stop me. I'm just taking the leap. And it's going to be a little scrappy. I'm going to be honest with you all. It's going to be a little all over the place, but also very organized and very together because, like I said, we are learning and growing together, and I really do mean that. I don't want to project myself as this perfect person that has it all together or that is wealthy and making six figures, because I'm not. That's just me being fully transparent. What I do have is time affluence. And that's what I uphold and upkeep on a daily basis. No matter what I do, no matter how much I do or how little I do, as long as I'm valuing my time and spending it at the highest of quality, then I'm good. And I've realized through my coaching journey that I'm currently embarking in, coaching business is no easy feat either, especially when you're coming from a world that is very behind the scenes and you're to yourself as a transaction coordinator. You don't really have to interact with people that often. And when you do, it's kind of like a one and done situation. But as I've embarked in this coaching journey and taking the courses, learning, doing practice calls, which is not as easy as I thought it would be, but it's also still it's motivating. It's motivating because I see there is a need for stuff like this, which is why I felt like it was important for me to do such a platform, and making it be like a monthly membership type service just resonated better with me versus just dropping a course and you guys never see me again. There are a lot of amazing courses out there that I do encourage you to research and do your due diligence and ask all the questions, but I'm creating a home for people that are still kind of on the cusp or not quite sure where to go next with said information. But stay tuned. Go to mytccommunity.com to learn more about that. All you really will be doing at this stage, is entering your name and email. So if you've already joined my TC community and you receive my TC weekly newsletter, you do not have to sign up again. This is simply just to keep you all abreast of what's happening and when it's happening, because those in my TC community will get the information first before I announce anything else on the podcast. This is definitely the first announcement, but the next announcements will be coming via email first before it goes public, because coming up we have a few back-to-back interviews, and my TC community is something that we are building together. So be sure to go to mytccommunity.com to submit your name and email for now, and that will allow you in the doors and as to what is to come, how much it's going to cost, how often you will have access to it, all of that, all of those details, what is going to be included, how often you'll get to talk to me within the community, all of that stuff. We are working out the details on the back end. So definitely stay close and stay tuned. But I just really wanted to pop in here and shout out everyone that has been listening so far. I see you. I love it. The numbers and the stats are increasing on a weekly basis, and I think that's really cool. As much as I don't live off of or rely on the vanity metrics, it does matter. So I truly appreciate all of you that listen on a weekly basis and that tell people to listen to my show as well, and that have shared my content on social media. All of that really makes a huge difference in terms of exposure and getting the word out and getting closer to having Oprah Winfrey on the show. So with all of that said, make sure you are following the show. New episodes are released every week on Monday. I have interviews with fellow real estate professionals that are transaction coordinators, realtors, investors, and all of the in-between jobs and careers and businesses that you wouldn't think would be on a podcast. I want to get into the minds of all of these people. I want to know their journey. I want them to share their journeys. And not only that, but I want that to inspire the next generation, empower. And when I say next generation, I'm not necessarily talking about the youth. I'm talking about all of us that are in our new seasons of life, that are taking those leaps of faith into a new path that they've always been passionate about, because time freedom, location independence, it's great, but it must be fueled by things that we love. You love people, get into something that involves working with people. You like being behind the scenes and not really interacting or socializing too much. Find a job that resonates with that. But also be, challenging your comfort zone little by little. And over time, all of that effort and work will compound and you'll see great reward. Lots to come with the show. Stay tuned. If you would like to be a guest on the show, message me. We'll talk about it. Make sure we are both in alignment, because that's important to me as well. I'm being very selective with who comes on the show. I do have a long list of people that I would love to bring on, but it does take time for me to get my schedule in order and making sure that the businesses that I do have running behind the scenes and the education the courses that I'm taking are all still in motion. So I don't want to rush this process. And we are halfway through the first season of this show. I launched this in December of 2022. It is currently June 2023. So this is the halfway mark. So for anyone just now tuning in, let me know what you think about the show. If there are topics you want me to address or talk about, bring them on. You can message me, DM me on social media at Transaction Care across all social media platforms. That is one of the best ways to get in touch with me. And for anyone saying that I've been DMing you, but I haven't gotten a response, I don't believe that because I'm in my DMs daily, even the hidden messages, you guys. So there's no excuses. If you want to get in touch with me, there are many ways, but honestly, social media is the best way to start those conversations. And also by joining my TC community. So go to mytccommunity.com right now. If you're brand new, just submit your name and your email. It's that simple, and more information will be sent to your inbox as it begins to roll out. But I just want to start getting that information into your brain so it becomes familiar and we can have that just hub and that safe space for those that are in need of it in their business and entrepreneurial journeys. Because I know when I started my journey, I would have loved something like that, and I'm going to have fun with it. The ideas that are popping through my brain, I don't think is something that's being presented right now. So definitely go to mytccommunity.com. And if you are a fan of the show, please leave a 5-star rating. It really does make a difference. And it helps get the show pushed out to more people, a wider audience. And that just means we can empower and uplift more people throughout this world that are interested in real estate, mindset shifting, entrepreneurship, business, all of that good stuff, financial literacy. I'm here to talk about it all, guys. I'm not holding back. And if you are someone out there that is struggling to just feel confident with their next steps, message me. We'll talk something out. We'll work it out. We'll build that rapport and make sure you get to the next step that you need to get to in order to reach your highest potential and fulfill, be fulfilled in your truest self. So with all of that said, I'm keeping this episode short. Head to transactioncarepodcast.com so you can stream past episodes. Like I mentioned, episode 20 with Grace Wilson talks about investing. Coming soon to the show, Violetta Sandoval of the MoneyChisme podcast. And fun fact, if you did not know, if you made it this far in the episode, Violetta's episode was a show, MoneyChisme, was the very first show I've ever been interviewed on, ever. I mean, I was on the news that one time when I was getting interviewed about the lotto. This is my first official podcast show that I've ever been on, and did an interview about my backstory and how I got here and what I did to escape the monotony and just the toxic environment I had kept myself in for way too long at my previous job. But go check out her show. She has a podcast as well called MoneyChisme. I'm on her show. She has a lot of other great guests that are on the show. But we are out here. We are out here. Successful women in real estate, in business, doing the do. So with all of that said, thank you for tuning in this week. It was short and sweet, and I hope it resonated with you. And stay tuned for mytccommunity.com. Coming soon, more information on that. The best way to receive that information is in your inbox. That's where all that information goes to first, to my TC community. First and foremost, they knew about this podcast before anyone in the world knew, before my mom knew. I was in everyone's inbox like, hey, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about that? And I just really love my community support. I recently hit 100 members, 100 subscribers, community members, supporters. And I think it's just so cool that the power of your voice and just passion can take you down these different paths and introduce you to people that you wouldn't normally talk to or engage with. And not because I don't want to, but it's just because the way the world works, the way life works, sometimes you just have your head down for so long and just a whole year has gone by. And this was my way of giving back, but also kind of filling my cup back up by building a community and surrounding myself with like-minded people that are passionate and excited about these next phases of their lives, and they're not afraid to take those risks and have those conversations and do those presentations and start those podcasts and launch their courses. And it's really cool that I've been a part of getting to know some of these people. So shout out to everyone that I have had on the show. You know who you are, and if you plan on linking with me to be on the show, like I said, let's do this. Let's get in alignment, make sure it all works out for the best of our worlds, and take it from there. But until then, this has been another episode of the Transaction Care Podcast. My name is Lillian Hernandez, aka Lily like the flower, because we are learning and growing together. And yes, I said it in the beginning and I will say it at the end. This is the #1 real estate show on the market. Yes. And I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon.